Hello and welcome to What Are You Saying? #Ways, where we talk about topics in the news as it affects us all. I am Osayome Sally, and today I'm joined by my amazing co-anchors. I have Elsie Godwin, all lovely in red. How are you, Elsie?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Fine. You finally did our package.
Finally.
Is that the thing? Was I supposed to be in package
No,
today?
no, not
Okay.
really. There's a background story.
There's a background story.
Oh, okay.
How are you? How was your weekend?
It was good. Restful.
Wow, I'm envious of that.
Those restful has different,
Level.
restful.
I don't even want to go into the details.
Don't.
How are you, Davy? How was your weekend?
I'm wonderful, very well. It was weekend, right? I felt like I've been in the week already. I just realized that today's Monday. So, how was our weekend? You know our weekend.
People
was.
had fun.
Yes.
Should I start spilling if you're not ready to spill?
No, we actually had fun. We went to 2 weddings. And it was amazing.
One wedding that we're going to talk about tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Are you serious?
It's a conversation now.
In the wedding?
No, not this. It was a conversation around the wedding. We're going to talk about it.
Okay, I'll be
Very
listening like the
interesting.
viewers because I was not in the wedding.
You're not on the show?
I will be listening. I was not in the wedding.
No, you were not.
But I had a very eventful wedding. As a wedding weekend, I'm so sorry to Honorable Shegun Olulade. I mean, he invited me for his 50th, but I couldn't. After the transaction of Saturday.
That was on Saturday?
Yeah, no, it was yesterday, Sunday.
Okay.
So after the transaction of Saturday, I could
You were
not.
maxed out.
I used to think that you have that
I don't have the energy.
Lagos
People
energy.
Truly,
in
when
you.
people
Really?
see me, they think I have the
No, I
ginger.
think you were not gingered enough.
No.
Nah,
She's
you
been
have
with me
that
with parties.
She has more energy, don't
No,
mind
I
her.
know.
You can
For
do
you not
so
to
much.
go on Sunday, something else must have triggered it that you
Not
not
because you
thought
were
about.
tired.
Not because you were tired.
Okay.
Yes.
I have a birthday shout out to give.
Yes,
before
we
go.
do.
So our very own Nama Efang,
Yes.
and her son, she's actually a twin.
Wow.
So her sister is in the
Amazing.
US. So happy birthday to you. But Nama Efanga is our very own, what's it called? Friend of the
Reliable
house.
guest co-anchor.
And it's her birthday today. Nama Efanga, happy birthday.
Happy
and,
birthday.
Her son is also 10 today.
Wow.
Akani and my little prince, happy birthday. We sent pictures. Again, they are not flashing the pictures, but it's fine. But whenever they flash the picture, they will flash it. All right, so today we're talking infrastructure. We're talking, and we're focusing on the rail sector. And here's what we found as today's quote. Investment in infrastructure is a long-term requirement for growth and a long-term factor that will make growth sustainable. This is really apt for what we're talking about. Sustainability is very key in every infrastructural growth that we are planning. All right, so the Nigerian Railway Corporation traces its history to the year 1898, when the first railroad in Nigeria was constructed by the British colonial government. On the 3rd of October 1912, the Lagos Government Railway and the Baro Kano Railway were amalgamated, starting nationwide rail services under the name Government Department of Railway. Now, over 100 years later, where are we at the road rail networks in Nigeria, or the rail networks rather in Nigeria? So Freeborn Okiare, Okiria, sorry, is here. Oh, God have mercy on me. I'm an Edugelu. Is here to discuss this. But first, we'll take a break to see what we found in the news. You're still watching Ways now from the scent of a rare first book edition book found in an old-time book collection to a crisp, fresh book at the local supermarket. The very sight of a book can bring back memories. Reading as a child, enjoying the short stories and the long books, and the ability to lose yourself in a story so powerful that the end you are asking yourself where to get the next book in the series. This is for the readers in all of us, the celebration of Book Lovers Day. In order to truly appreciate Book Lovers Day, one must find a story and read it. Maybe you wish to dive into the unknown with good mystery, or see magic in a high fantasy setting, or be enthralled in the steaming romance. The individual genre of your reading is not really so much of the big piece of this conversation. Just do something today, which is read a book. So happy Book Lover Day to everyone. I brought my book to the current one I'm trying to read. Somebody got me a gift, and this was the gift from a dear friend of mine, Francine Rivers. She writes, she picks stories and she converts them into fictional writers. So it's so beautiful. You just find yourself immersed inside the book. So this is the one I want to start.
So you love fiction?
Not really. I like different kinds of book, but I love particularly her books.
Okay.
How many of you
Her books are really drawn. I have a collection, but the one I first of all fell in love with. What's the name? No, it skipped my head. Something romance, yeah. It was something
on romance?
No, it was something on Dying Love or something. I can't remember. How am I kind of forgetting the names? Well, that's the book, yeah. But it was a story of love. It was so beautiful, like on Dying Love.
Is there anything like on Dying Love?
Wahala. For me, I mean, reading is good. One thing we always try to tell people, because I know how we say we are busy and we can't really sit down to read books, but if you just decide to say I'm reading one chapter a day, I think that's the way to finish a book. And I've started doing that, or I've been doing that for a while. I think I just finished reading It's Time. It's written by my friend. So yeah, it was a really nice book. So yeah.
Really? How about you, Dami?
I love reading books, and I do audiobooks a lot more than I do physical reading. Although it's better to read directly, because that's active reading as against passive reading. So most times when I don't get to take the hard copy and read, I do the audiobook.
Which is when you sent to me, like 6 hours long.
That book is amazing. There was so much. There's a bit of controversy in that book, but it would totally answer a lot of questions for you. As a woman, you want to process that book. But what I read, an active physical book that I just finished or rounding up now, is The Subtle Act of Not Giving a Fuck. The topic
I don't know why I'm
does
not
match.
done with that book.
Trust me, it's amazing. I love the book, the content. It's very relatable, and I find it very, very useful. That's what. But the topic was totally against the
Please don't repeat the topic again.
It's been difficult to finish
Now I
it.
found the title of my
F
book,
word.
Redeeming Love. That's
Redeeming Love. Oh, okay.
You need to read that.
Now love, Sha.
Is love, Sha?
Romance, Sha.
It's,
Redeeming love.
you know how you talk about second chances, you talk about, so you are not just so quick to throw people under the bus. It was a very, very loving story. You
But
need
it's
to read
love.
it.
Are you going to get me a copy?
I can bring my copy from my library.
I love
You
that.
read it
And I'll return it. I don't borrow my books, actually. No matter what you do, I don't, because to get it back is always very difficult. So I try not to borrow from my library. I tell you the book, then you go get it yourself, or you get an audio version.
Book lovers
is
are always
easier.
like that.
Yeah.
If they give you their book, they love you.
Okay,
they
enough
love
of books.
you.
We have 5 minutes to run. What do we have in the news today?
You want me to go?
Yeah.
Okay, so over the weekend, the news of Ghanaians, so those with Ghana passport, being able to travel to UAE without having to need a visa book, and of course that's exciting, and we Nigerians are jealous. I know we have Ghanaian viewers, so congratulations to
No, but
them.
UAE brought out the report,
I mean, I'm getting there. So, but today, the Embassy of the Republic of Ghana released a statement, of course, confirming the ratification of the agreement, but stating that the process of the implementation have not been concluded. So, it's still congratulations. It's just that it's not starting immediately. Of course, once the process is completed, Ghanaians with Ghanaian passport will be able to go to UAE.
So, I also saw a report on the category of visas and passport holders. It is the diplomatic passport holders.
Not
and
every.
no, that's not.
everybody.
It's not clear yet.
Because that's the report I read.
Well, going
let's
by
wait
the
till-
release from this embassy, they did not tell you
that it
which,
was-
well, so,
okay.
and I don't think that would be the case. I doubt that, because if that's the case, that would be one of the things they will pass in this message they shared. But in this message, they actually confirmed that yes, that agreement has been signed,
but it's
but
not
the
been
process
implemented.
is still ongoing. So we'll see how it goes. However it is, congratulations to them.
Are you jealous? We would love to have that too.
I would love to have that
know,
too.
I know.
I do.
It's okay.
Okay, so what do you find person news?
What I have in the news today is a very exciting topic. It says that from Punch, you won't have good home if you join feminism, Oyedepo tells women. Now, this conversation around feminism, but before I give my opinion about it, let me just read through the news. The General Overseer of the Living Faith Church International, aka Winners Chapel, Bishop David Oyedepo, has advised women against joining the feminist movement. The clergyman who gave the advice during a sermon to his congregation started the feminism lead, stated that feminism leads to frustration and devastation. Very quickly, just to wrap that without reading the entire text, it says, if feminism revolution is your vision, don't attempt to get married because it won't work. Now, do I agree with that ideology? Yes and no. It depends on what context we consider a woman to be a feminist. Now, a woman that is considered a feminist is someone who is fighting for equal right. Yes and yes. Do you agree with that? So if you are ever in a marriage and you're fighting for equal rights with your husband, it means you do not have any sense of submission, and as such, you're better off not getting married, otherwise the marriage will not work. Do you share that thought, Elsie?
Because you're the one speaking, I'm tempted to respond to you, but because this message is coming from Oyedepo, I'm sorry, I respect him for what he has achieved, but he's not the kind of person that will start a feminist conversation that I'll respond to, so I'll let it pass. He's not, that's not his area. He can continue preaching, that's fine.
Interesting.
Yep.
Do you have any opinion?
Adedamola Oluwaseun. He's 19 years old.
Okay, you're taking your story.
Yes.
He has moved.
No comment.
Comments result to behind the stage.
19-year-old boy bags life imprisonment for attempted robbery. This broke my heart. So
Attempted robbery.
Yes. And I
think that's extreme though.
Yes, the Ekiti State High Court in Ado Ekiti on Monday sentenced this young man, Ademola Oluwaseun, to life imprisonment. And the judge said, yes, there was no evidence of him actually committing the robbery, that is stealing, whatever it is, but he's reiterating that he is convicted for the offense of attempted armed robbery, and he's sentenced to life imprisonment.
Wow.
I don't know. I'm sure he can appeal this, right? Because this is a high court. I'm sure he can appeal it, but I don't know how to take this in. You understand? We've heard of cases of actual
robbery.
I mean, cases of Evans that, you know, series of kidnapping and everything. Where are the convictions and all of that?
I saw a story recently of Evans saying that he was coerced to admit that he's a kidnapper, that he's a businessman. Did you see that story?
I've not seen it. I
don't want
to see it. You know, so for this young boy, he's 19. Couldn't there have been a better sentence, better punishment? You know, how can a 19-year-old be convicted to life imprisonment?
That is extreme.
I mean, not 5 years, not 3 years,
like
not 10 years.
Hands with a sledgehammer.
Do you understand? So for me, I don't know. We'll try to see if we can find.
It reminded me of the conversation you had with the social development lawyer, talking about how we handle children, and I mean, it's 19, still a teenager as far as I'm concerned.
After 18, you're already an adult according to the law. But I'm just saying that he attempted robbery. He didn't succeed. So at least, I mean,
and there's no evidence that he even stole anything. So
I don't know where, you know, but I'll try to see if we can keep an eye on the conversation. All right, so we'll take a break now. When we return from the break, we're going to be discussing the real network in Nigeria. Then I will answer Dami about her feminism behind the scenes. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome to The Breakfast.
A breakfast where we unbundle top and big stories of the day.
Is vaccine the only way out of this pandemic?
No, definitely not.
Many Ghanaians just want a peaceful election and they are hoping there will be no rigging.
There is nothing bad in borrowing for infrastructure. The minister added that he was impressed.
Please come and see yourself what we are doing with the money we are borrowing.
It's very important. The way we brand ourselves is the way people will carry us.
It's just the driver of the two vehicles that were completely burned.
This one was here screaming.
What do you recommend the government do to support this sector?
Direct intervention, that's what every government all over the world has done.
We are not a parallel security structure. A multiple core is a complementary core.
What I will not encourage Christians to do is to carry dagger and follow anybody. No.
Join us on The Breakfast, 7 a.m., Monday to Friday.
It is engagement we need to have.
Those who suffer miscarriages are never taken into account.
Members of the National Assembly are also influence peddlers.
You are sitting on Nigerians' money.
From the barbing, I pay my rent. On the barbing, I send my children to school.
A consultative engagement.
No any tangible notification before they ban us.
It's one thing for people to be at your back and the heat of the moment, and another thing for them to still be with you when push comes to shove.
I will do everything to take Lagos out of the national grid.
Thanks for staying with us. Now, an efficient railway transport enhances the economic development of any country in terms of movement of people and goods from one destination to another. Nigeria is an oil-producing country, yet supply chain of petroleum products distribution is very poor, inefficient and abysmal, let alone effective. Railroads are the most efficient transportation mode for moving goods on the Earth's surface. Railroads are particularly important for the movement of commodities that are heavy and move in bulk over long distances, where the transportation spend represents a large portion of the total delivered cost. Now, railroads created more interconnected societies. Countries were able to move easily, work together due to decreased travel time. With the use of the steam engine, people were able to travel to distant locations much more quickly than if they were using only horsepower. That's in those days. So transportation with the advent of light rail, high-speed rail, the tramway, we all use now, you know. So we're asking, especially in the Western world, we're asking how effective is our own back home here in Nigeria, our rail network in Nigeria. Now, please let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. So, amongst the ladies here, who has entered train in Nigeria?
Very interesting.
That's the first question.
Very interesting.
No, I have not.
I haven't in Nigeria.
You have not entered train in Nigeria? Okay.
Have you?
He's interested.
Well, I haven't entered the train yet in Nigeria, but my mom uses, and she can swear by it, that is the best thing that happened since sliced bread.
Really?
She uses because they live in Kaduna State. So most times she prefers to use the Abuja airport because of the insecurities around the Kaduna airport area. So what they do now is take a train to Abuja, board their flights, and you know, like that. When she's going back, she does.
I think that line works really well.
It's perfect. I mean, it's perfect. When they had a downtime, I know how many people, you know, it was almost like prayer and fasting for them to come back, you know, on time. Then again, the Ibadan, Lagos.
Yeah.
I mean, a friend of mine, they had a wedding on Saturday, the one we attended on Saturday. They had a burial on Friday. You know, normally before you have to drive and all of that. The next thing I saw her posting a pictures at the rail terminal. She's going to Abuja, Ibadan for burial and all of that. So, I mean, I know a lot of people that have used it. So we just actually booked the Lagos Ibadan. We want to go and just have the experience.
At least I've been to the terminal in Yaba, and it's so beautiful. I mean, I'm planning to do a video on that. It's so beautiful. At least I can say that one. So maybe when we go and enter it, I want to enter the VIP side. That side that you sit down and you see big TV.
I like the VIP side.
I like comfort and enjoyment. That's what I want.
Let me bring in our guest. As you can hear, he's already chuckling. Engineer Freebom Edetalen Okiria is the managing director of the Nigerian Railway Corporation, with the responsibility of providing leadership and strategic direction for the achievement of the vision of the Nigerian Railway Master Plan. He is a professionally qualified electrical engineer with a significant achievements in the field of electrical, mechanical, signaling, telecommunication, ICT, installation, maintenance and repair of electrical equipment and rail transport since 1988. His extensive industry experience covers the design, development, installation, and supervision of many multi-million naira projects from the inception to completion. And we are super, super honored to be hosting him live in studio with us. Our guy, he came to grace our set. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I mean, you heard us talking about our experiences with the rail. You know, it's so interesting that I mean, a lot of people now, we just do it for the fun of it. We just want to board a train just to go and experience it. How does that make you feel? I
feel good.
Okay.
You can have the train ride on me.
Thank
you. A complimentary ticket.
Oh, thank you.
And it's a good thing that is happening in our time. And you didn't mention what it happened, but that is the craze of the moment.
Wow.
Yeah. People leave Benin, go to Agbo. People leave Port Harcourt, come to Warri. People leave Benin, go to Oropi to board the train to Itakbe, then go to Abuja. People leave Abuja, come to Itakbe, use the train. If they are going to the southeast, south, they use the train. And the rolling stock, that is the coaches. It's not for today, it's for tomorrow. Because when we planned it, the minister said, come out with the best. And we know our mass, we are heavy, we are big, we have to give enough leg room and enough space so that when you sit on it, you can relax. And you have your state of mind at peace. So that's what we have. When we started Abuja Kaduna, the fear was there, how do you get passenger to operate? as I speak today, we are introduced 10 trips.
Wow.
That's on the 14th of last month.
Daily?
Yes.
Wow.
10 trips daily. And I was just looking at our earning today. At least what we earn, apart from the other expenses you give to the e-ticketing provider, the VAT, the stamp duty, the insurance, the medical, we're at least talking about 320 million a month. Although
aside of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Train service is not easy to provide. It's not cheap. The diesel we use, because we still run diesel locomotive, because we have to talk about having power to do electric train. I think we are quite comfortable. At least we can, at least we break even on the operational cost, not the personnel cost.
Yeah.
So Lagos Ibadan is coming up. We started with return trip, that is 2 trains a day. We will move to 4. And as we promised Nigeria, by January next year, we should be having 12 to 16 trains a day.
From Lagos Ibadan.
Lagos Ibadan.
Yeah.
So we started with Warri Itakpe, with 1 return trip. Today we are running 2 return trips. That is 4 trains a day. And right from Warri, we get up to 600 people boarding the train.
Wow.
And I think it's encouraging, which means Nigeria love goating and they like goating.
Right. I would like to ask you a question very quickly. What new rail projects are coming up on a short to medium term?
We have a lot.
How many of them?
We have a lot of them. I don't want to call them dreams because they'll be reality.
Okay.
Just last Wednesday, FEC approved the Calabar to Lagos rail modernization.
How long is that going to take before it takes effect?
No, we are hoping that the fund, people, you see, when you know the fund is judiciously used and is used for what it's meant for, I think people will invest. So now that the approval is given, that are giving the green light for those who are interested in funding, because the government cannot do it alone. So we also have the Itakpe to link Abuja. When you link Itakpe to Abuja, it means you have linked Warri to Kaduna. And Kaduna Kano is almost starting, the construction is starting, because we have a project from Ibadan to Kano, which will be starting at both ends. We started from Ibadan up north and Kano to join Kaduna. So if you can link Itakpe to Abuja, do you know draft?
Yes.
You know draft. You know what you have, DG, the DG line. So that's the central line as a sort of what we call the DG line. Yeah. But the central line. Yeah.
I saw somewhere in the news today that Lagos to Kano should be starting this Friday. How true is that?
That is narrow gauge. We were to start last Friday, but unfortunately we have in the Osogbo, they constructed a new road that diverted flood to the track, and it affected it drastically. But our engineers are at site trying to see how they will restore it before Friday.
Okay.
You know, we are running that before the COVID, but during COVID,
we
stopped, and by the time we came back, the grass overtook the track. As we are clearing, we discovered that some of the track had been vandalized, clips removed, fish plates removed, some rail removes. But we have fixed them and we are using it for as a trial run, moving Kaduna State pipes from Lagos to Zaria.
Okay, I was going to hold off on the vandalizing part and the part of us, you know, going to destroy public property, you know, to much later. I wanted you to give me, you know, like the impact of all this connectivity that has been happening in terms of economic, because we're talking about economic impact, you know, in the country. And I mean, we had a guest 2 Fridays ago that talked about, you know, that in fact he's not even asking for too much. If we can fix just the rail in terms of infrastructure and connectivity, that rail can solve a lot of connection problem, what's it called, commerce, you know, and it can bring a lot of commerce and activity and everything in the economy and make the economy thrive. You know, so how true is this, and how much impact have you, the rails currently running, how much has it had on the economy?
Without an effective rail, the country cannot grow commercially, or because without good logistics. You see, on land, how do you move? You have to move not just passengers. You talk about goods.
Goods, yes.
You have to move the container from one place to the other. You have to move finished product from the factory industry to the market. And how do you do that? How do you move them cheaply? It's by rail. Because you have to produce in bulk. Rail can move in bulk. Imagine 25 wagons carry 40 tons of finished goods to one spot. Imagine 20 tankers or 44 liters of petroleum products arriving in a city. You don't talk about scarcity in that place. So, and apart from that, the indirect impact on employment is so massive. I will refer you to Idu, or the place called Rigasa.
Rigasa, yes.
Yeah, Rigasa. People were scared of going to Rigasa. At the time we wanted to break ground in Rigasa, we ran away. So, and when we were at security, scared.
If you lived in Kaduna, during the crisis, the religious crisis, those are one of the hot zones.
A terrible place then. But now, you can see launches coming up here and there at Rigasa. People now know that they have to accommodate people. And Rigasa is a small station, because the main station in Kaduna is going to be at Rigachuku. But that's where we have our highest passenger intake every day. We have more passenger because everybody coming from Kano, from Jigawa, from Zaria, come to Rigasa to board the train to Abuja. Unlike we have alternative in Abuja. You have the Idu station, you have the Kubwa station. So you can see how that place is getting expanded. Then if you go to Idu, you see factories coming up, warehouses coming up in anticipation. By the time the rail start moving and they finish, the goods will easily be moved with a cheaper rate. And right now, what we do in Nigeria is that if you make 2 or 3, you take to the market, it become high. But if you move them in bulk,
it's cheaper. Definitely. So we are talking about food security. We're talking about the cheaper rates
because of the cheap rate of moving goods in mass. So you talk about employment generation. So at the time when rail was there, before, when I joined the rail service, we were 26,000 people, and we are working day and night, because the service, you have about 2-3 trains going to Kano, going to Maluguri. But at the time, it went so down that we are less than 5,000. But as of today, as the government has decided to build and expand, we have gotten to close to 11,000. And you have to sell on the train. People surrounding the train station have to bring markets, creating job indirectly. A lot of benefits.
So it's actually endless. But you know what? I want us to take a break, because I would really like to now understand the partnerships that you're having in terms of building some of these rail stations. We need to understand. We're hearing people are borrowing money here and there. Let's understand that. But we'll take a very short break. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Now, if you just tuned in, we're having an amazing chat with our boss, the Rail Corporation chairperson. So on infrastructure, and we are reviewing our Nigerian rail network in this country. I mean, some amazing things are happening, but we want to understand it better. So let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. All right, so before we went on the break, I was just asking about partnerships. Can we understand what's the partnership with China?
Yeah.
You know, and how is it going? And are we looking to see more partnerships? And you talked about diesel consumption in terms of operating our rail networks. I hear that there's a partnership currently going on with Germany for our power. So are there going to be are we going to be seeing some of synergy with the rail corporation and the power sector, so we can now have cheaper, so we have electrically running trains? Yeah.
Okay. I will start with the partnership we have with Chinese Exim Bank. It's what we call G2G, government to government loan, and the first one we use for Abuja Cardinal Lagos Ibadan was a concession loan at a very, the rate is mindful, not that heavy, and you don't take the money by cash. So a contract is given and the money remains in China, and when you finish, that's what we call interim payment certificate, the engineer, which is a consultant, satisfy the job, the people to make the payment come evaluate. It can either be less or more than they pay.
Okay.
So you can only pay for the work done. So the fear of saying
securing
the money or because of
that
emergency,
is already taken care of.
That is taken care of. And why did Lagos Ibadan move so fast? It moved so fast. One, the present government brought out their money and bulk, the 50% catapult funding, and they have now to lay pressure on our partner. Same thing we are doing in Kano, Kaduna. We have made some payments, say start work. Why we finalize the counterpart from coming abroad. So the Kano, Kaduna, this month, I think some work will start. They are mobilizing. Land acquisition for the right of way is presently ongoing. And the minister, I think, has fixed a meeting for next week at the first site visitation from Kano end to check the land has been acquired for the construction. And there should not be fear whether the money will be mismanaged or not, because nobody is keeping the cash in Nigeria. So it's
just access to finance as that when due.
Yeah. We have some other countries, Europe, America, are not coming to be a part of the road. Like the coastal rail, maybe some other country and other banks are now trying to see if we can harness commercial banks to be part of it. And don't forget, we also have the Eastern Corridor. You have two contracts there. You have the standard gauge, Port Harcourt to Maiduguri, and you have the reconstruction of what we call the narrow gauge, the one that was built by Colonial Master. Because right now, we still operate Lagos to Kano using the old rail, while we are building
the new one.
Why? If you stop and say you wait till you build a new one, you lose the
revenue.
Not the revenue. Not you will lose the know-how, and nobody will be talking about rail. It's good because if you say you destroy the old house, because you are expecting a new one, and if it happens, it's only when you have a house to live in that you can be talking
of building a new one.
So they are going, and when you have the one Kano Maradi. People, when we started, people were criticized, why going to Maradi and others? You see, the company that's coming to finance that from Portugal said, for you to access my money, you must get to Maradi, because Maradi is to Niger as Lagos is to Lagos. So there are a lot of commerce going on there between Nigeria and before now, we'll be meeting as a real person. We'll be meeting with the Nigerian Republic, trying to ship their goods through the Nigeria ports, and because they are landlocked. So you need to move it by rail, because if you use the roads, supposing they have a ship to be discharged, and you say 100 trailers. The 100 trailers may not get to there in 6 months.
And it will take a toll on the road.
Because some get broken down. So, but by rail, you can count for it and you can time how to get there. So when that opportunity came, at least we have to hook on it. And don't forget about the ECOWAS agreement of linking all ECOWAS states
together
by rail and express to improve on our commerce.
Yeah.
That's where we are. And we are targeting, the minister is insisting that 18 months to link Kaduna to Kano and 18 months to link Port Harcourt to Maiduguri on the old, reconstructing the old narrow gauge so that we can start operation, so that the congestion in Apapa, some of the goods can go to Port Harcourt and you can use the rail from Port Harcourt or from Warri Port using standard gauge if we are able, because the Takbe Kaduna is a PPP arrangement.
Okay.
We had a company who promised that they will provide the funds and they will operate that line. And if the money is not realized, government needs to support. That is the arrangement we have there. So we are, then immediately we signed the agreement, this COVID-19 came in and it slowed down everything. However, the company is coming back. We are discussing and see how we can mobilize so that we can link and that it will link Opagina because of Dangote cement. So when you move goods by rail, the road
they'll suffer less.
The wear and tear on the road will reduce, and we move, let's say, about 1,000 passengers from Lagos to Ibadan. Let's say you have daily, and you have, if you have buses, carry 10, that's 100 buses.
So you move the pressure from the road.
Pressure on the road.
It makes sense.
You have the possibility of accident
drops as well.
Drops. The driver who left Ibadan and may not get to Lagos in 4 hours, with that reduction in traffic, can now get to maybe 2.5 hours by road and go back and come back and earn the same money at a freer with a freer road.
So sorry, he has not responded on the power.
You see, right now, even presently, we are discussing with various IPPs on how to enhance power. And every rail line we construct, we have left room, and not only leaving room, we are installing a 33 kVA line, so that by the time the power comes, right now in Abuja Canal, we are connected to two network, Kaduna Electricity Power and the Abuja. So they are supplying us, but it's not very regular. And we're also encouraging people to develop power that can be used by rail. So the headroom and everything, we make sure we provide them in our design and construction, so that we can.
Once it's ready, just plug and play. Okay,
that's where we are.
So talking about the know-how, like you mentioned, and then the direct jobs, rail is here to stay. At least we are getting a hang of it now, and we are working, right? I know there was some form of agreement in terms of training people in Nigeria to be able to be professionals in that area. How is that going?
It's going on fine. I'm a rail person. Immediately I left the university, I did not work elsewhere. I joined the rail. And we have a lot of like that. And you see, the rail is an industry that you don't teach it in university. So you have to learn on the job, or either within or outside. What the minister has done and the Nigerian government have done is that, as a social corporate responsibility, the contractor has taken about 150 secondary school leavers between at least, I think, maximum of age 18 to go to China and study. Those who can get to PhD, we have it. Those who can get to first degree or HND, we have it. And also, they are developing a university at Daura, and those people will be the pioneering people, not students, to teach, joining the experts that can come from abroad, and those of us that have the experience to teach.
Oh no, you have the experience. Well, we have a comment.
Now, rail network is not cheap.
Sorry?
And I hear you say you do some kind of counter-funding, which means the Nigerian government has to bring some funds while you still have to borrow some from China or anywhere else. What effect does this have on our debt profile, considering that we are really indebted as a country?
You see, I'm a realistic person. You see, I will refer you to my late governor of the old Bende States.
Okay.
Rosalie. Okay. Money don't wait for anybody. And money is never enough. If you have 1 million today, it's not enough.
Absolutely.
If you have 2 million, it's not enough.
200.
And he used to say that the father has never stopped looking for money. So there's no time a government will say, I'm putting enough money to satisfy the nation. What is important that money received
channeled towards.
Do we need the rail infrastructure?
Yes.
Do we need power?
Yes.
Do we need good hospital?
Yes.
So if you get it and use it, because if you don't do it now, you still need them. Maybe at a higher cost.
Yeah.
What is wrong if you do it now, and those of us that are old men enjoy it before our children enjoy it? That's what is happening in UK.
But
they have the underground, they have the people. That's why we say a person is not working. They are paying him money because they have done these things.
Work,
it's already
so there's no more pressure on infrastructure
development. So it's better if we have
access to finance.
So finance, you take it and do it because you need it.
So we have a question.
I actually have a question. You said something about doing it now because of the cost. There are people that have reservations about the kind of rail that we are building now. Would you want to clear their doubts on that?
If it's adequate or efficient,
and they feel like since we are doing it now, we should be able to do what is
standard. But that's what he just said
now. No, that's not what
he talked about.
He talked about making provision.
A modern rail.
Yes.
We are building a standard gauge rail, 1435 millimeter, which is common all over the world. We are no longer building a narrow gauge. So you need to build a narrow gauge is more expensive because the technology, you have to bend backwards to do it. The rolling stock, most of the people doing the rolling stock no longer do the rolling. So those are the benefits of doing it. And we are saying, we design our coaches. Chinese did not design it.
Okay.
We design for them and say this is our requirement. The number of seats we want is this. We have the number of toilets. We don't want to squatting toilet. We want the one you can sit on toilet.
Okay.
We want the door that can slide. We want this. We want a monitor on it. So that's sometimes that's why I laugh when people say maybe you brought in used coaches. No coaches, no locomotive are the same. You have to put the climate. You have to put your altitude,
everything you want
into your design.
Okay, so you talked about
you have to put the height and clearance and the radius of your track in designing your coaches, or otherwise you have the coaches somersaulting.
Okay, before you take your comment, you were talking behind the scene on the Ajaokuta Kano, Kaduna Kano pipeline. Can you just quickly expatiate on that?
So we started the Warri Itabe. An opportunity came to move freight. And the government is trying to develop gas pipe from Ajaokuta, Kaduna, Kano. That is a popular AKK gas project. And the contractors approached us, and with the cooperation of NNPC, they approved that the pipes should be moved by rail. While the road is moving maybe 2, we are moving 6 per hour wagon, and we move 18 at a stretch. And it's a day, less than a day journey. So as of today, we have delivered a lot of pipes, and they are finding it difficult to move the pipe by road because the rail has not gotten to where they are going to. So we have a wagon loaded of pipe as at yesterday, but no space or no vehicle to take them to the next place. So that is the beauty of rail. Instead of pursuing 18 trailers, we are just pursuing 2 drivers and probably 1 monitor person.
Okay, so we have a comment.
We have a comment. Is actually the question. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I want to commend Nigerian Railway Corporation MD and his dedicated teams for job well done. It takes dedicated teamwork to achieve such great projects. I was impressed to see some station operational. Please, when will Lagos Port Harcourt be ready? Your administration should advise the government on heavy punishment to deal with any bad-earth citizen that vandalizes public property, they should be named and shamed.
So we're going to come to vandalization. So maybe you should answer the Port Harcourt first.
I told you that
yes, already.
The Calabar, Port Harcourt, Warri, Benin was approved last Wednesday. The funding
But you're
process.
still looking for finance to take up the project.
Once we get finance, it's open now.
Okay, so talking about finance, can I, as a private individual, just walk up to you and say, you know what, I want to take on that project? Because I'm still having a bit of struggle that you are the ones handling the maintenance and the running of the stations. Why can't we have private citizens, private companies, you know what, let us take over. Like what we have in Lagos State government now, for instance, the LCC is a private company that partnered with Lagos State. Can we start to have that? Would it not reduce the burden on you as a government?
Well, you see, every time I face the public, I say we are open. People talk about amending the act, amending the law, but the act also gives room. You come, we discuss. You say, okay, you know your responsibility. The government, as Stroke NRC, know their responsibility. You sign it, that overrides every other thing. People come and say, okay, they want to construct. We say, okay, we give them, every day they make presentation, but we find them difficult to come back because my sisters, rail business is not cheap. So, but we encourage them, even if just to bring the rolling stock, coaches and locomotives, we encourage them. We give them the window to operate and even help them make sure because they are going to impact on Nigerians. So we can even bend backwards and make room for them to benefit
part of it.
And not just encourage them because it's a lot of investment they are bringing in.
There's a discussion around privatization of NRC.
Nobody's holding anybody. What you should know is that we have what we call permanent way. The rail is one.
Absolutely.
Unlike the roads, if you have a problem on the roads, you can try to find your way through the bush. Or if you are going to Warri, for instance, you get to Onitsha, you can try to pass through with it. Or when you get to Benin, you pass through Sapele. But it's not like that on rail. The rail going to Kano is a rail going to Kano.
Yes, so it cannot be diverted.
You have to manage it. And that's why what we are doing now is try to build what we call signal and telecommunication that can meet tomorrow's demands.
So it's a function of maintenance.
A driver in train A cannot talk to a driver in train B, but he will see train B. Because they don't allow drivers to talk to themselves, otherwise they will spoil the control, what the controller is doing. So, but he can see the train and know when to stop, or if one is overrunning, not to avoid incident or accident. So that is the type of signaling we are bringing. Real-time monitoring and.
So quickly, because we've run out of time, vandalization of our rail tracks. How are we handling that?
That security.
Yes. I was just going to even ask that, is there any hope for us to start to get our local manufacturers of iron in Nigeria to start to, instead of shipping, so maybe that would reduce the cost of, what's it called, our raw
material?
Yes, the raw materials. But we don't have time.
We talk about Alaja and what do they call it now?
Ajaokuta.
So I think the government is working seriously on that to come up, but we cannot wait. Say that. On the vandalization, we are putting everything together to ensure we stop it. We are encouraging our force enforcement agency, the police, soldiers, to stop and search trailers on road, and they have visited numerous reports. Last time we counted, we had about 300 people arrested, including Chinese, and
Chinese.
Some they are just going to court now and jailing them. I think people will learn from there, but we are trying to engage community because I would say people we are bad. I'm not exempting myself. There is a place we engage community. Instead of them protecting, they were now locating a walking line. They will not provide protection for them to remove. But fortunately for them, we call them. And we are trying to see how we can use technology, either by satellite, by drone. But it's not, what I tell them is that money that we use to do extra protection would have been useful by either extending the track or bringing in more coaches. So we appeal to Nigerians to please let's support the government. When you support the government, you are not supporting anybody.
Yes,
we are supporting ourselves.
Yes. And let us all partner together.
Yeah.
But thank you again.
Thank you.
Well done for the great job that you're doing. At least really is working, we know. So we're happy to be, to be saying it that it's working, and we know that your hard work, it will definitely pay, and we'll see more improvements. So we've been speaking to the MD of Nigerian Railway Corporation, Freeborn Ohiria. All right, thank you, Elsie.
I will
thank
take you to Edo for one more.
Please take me there. Please take me there. Thank you. Sorry we couldn't take other comments, but Ade, thank you for your comments. All right, so before we go, do ensure you follow us on Instagrams at PlusTvAfrica. You can interact with us further, drop a comment, and we're planning a giveaway to say thank you to you for watching with. Maybe our boss will give you tickets to Ibadan. Yeah. I'm believing in the brand, so do well to follow us on Instagram. It's at PlusTvAfrica. Now, if you missed today's quote, here it is again. Before we do the quote, I thought you found Norma's picture. These people. All right, so investment in infrastructure. Where are you? Okay, so Norma Efanga, please, can you put her picture so that she would, when we call her, she will come back. Thank you, Norma. That's her birthday. All right, so in case you missed today's quote, here it is again. Investment in infrastructure, that is my quote, is a long-term requirement for growth and a long-term factor that will make growth sustainable. We didn't talk on sustainability, maybe some other time, but thank you so much.
I appreciate you.
See you tomorrow.
Well, thank you.